Hey guys, thank you very much for joining us today. This is the first Web Components meetup, so this is not a bad turnout. I've been to an Angular meetup, but it's not much better, so don't feel bad about yourselves. And I do appreciate you spending time coming down here. I know Seattle can be tough. It's dark, it's cold, it's rainy, and you're always kind of feeling like, oh, maybe I should just bail on the next thing. So I do appreciate you setting aside your satellite nature and coming down today and actually spending the time with us. So I want to say a big thanks to Google for hosting us and to Mike specifically for helping us out, letting everybody in, putting posters all around, make sure you find the right building. So thank you, Mike, very much for this. And a big thanks to our speakers today. We have Jordan, who came down, or rather up, from Portland to actually speak to you guys today. And we have Jan right here, who came from around the area, Seattle, based ex-Microsofty, now a founder of a company that's built around web components. So be very excited to hear his presentation as well today. And I should probably introduce myself. Just a few words. My name is Yana. I am a UI architect at Cisco, hence my earlier comment on let's use WebEx for this, but obviously not in this building. I don't think we're equipped to do that. So why am I interested in talking about web components? Why do I think it is important? Why do I think it is important to do it here in Seattle and not obviously down in San Francisco or San Jose, where all the Polymer people are, all the tech startups are? Well, first of all, I'm here, and all you guys are here. Microsoft is here, Amazon is here, and there got to be a lot of questions that we all have that are very similar about how do we approach the next steps in the web industry? How do we adapt to the changes? And that has always been the question around there, right? How do we keep up to date? And the answer is not always the same. Does it mean we'll learn a new framework every month? Or does it mean that we do keep up to date, but also know some of the foundational methods and standards that maybe apply to all our projects or most of our projects, regardless of which framework it is that we're using and what our choices are? And the reason why I ended up having a lot of those questions is my team and I embarked on building, or rather rebuilding, an existing web client for a cloud offered software. And some of you guys, or maybe a lot of you guys, had done it at least once or twice. Rebuilding something from scratch, you probably all have the same questions in your head that I have been asking myself, which is, which framework do I choose? Do I choose something that's been the most popular or the most stable, has the most community support, or has shown the stability for quite a few years now? But we all know that frameworks come and go. And for me and for my team, it is very important to know, or at least being able to predict a little bit into the future, since we are in an enterprise environment. Consumer applications might churn a little bit quicker and update a little bit faster. For the enterprise world, if a customer does make a commitment to purchase something, they probably going to end up using it for a while, and we don't really want to put them in the jail of having to use Angular 1 or Shindig infrastructure or anything like that, or Amber, any Apple Music developers here. But anyway, so I was asking all the same questions myself, obviously, and this is what made me go back and rethink and look into what's been happening with web components ever since the last hype with Polymer, when Polymer came out. I haven't really looked into it very much, and what I found out is seems like a year ago, October 2018, has been really a big month for web components, just in an industry in general. And as you can see here, this is the support that all the web component foundational pillars have gotten across all the browsers that most of the customers use, and even Edge had committed to developing custom elements in Shadow DOM. Now, since they're taking on Chromium, maybe they don't have to do as much work anymore, or maybe it had been the plan the whole time. But regardless, this is what had happened over a year ago. So, and what did that enable the companies to do in an industry? Well, quite a bit, actually. And for us, it's been important to do a little bit of research and look into what do companies in an enterprise world have been doing. And so you can see here, so Salesforce, SAP, and VMware, they had actually been pioneering rebuilding their platform infrastructure with web components. There's Salesforce Lightning web component library that been announced, I think, in October. There had been an SAP UI5 web component library. VMware had rewritten their framework, Clarity, in web components as well. So the questions that I had when I saw this doing my research is, does it mean we're behind? And if we are, how do we do it right? You know, how do we learn from those companies and the way they did it? Maybe they did it well, maybe something didn't go as well as they had hoped. I definitely don't want to make the same mistakes as they have done. And this is why I have this question. Again, I'm keep asking questions, but I guess this is what it's all about to our speakers today, which is please do tell your stories and help us not make the mistakes that maybe you have done. I know Jordan has been working with web components for the last 5 years at least, and same goes with John, for John. And so I do want to make sure that this environment is where we share our experiences, and this is not the last, even though it's first, not the last, the meetup that we have, and we have more people coming in and sharing their experiences in adopting something that has a lot of promise, in my opinion. So I had just mentioned you that our speakers here today, this is their pretty faces, and we will actually start with Jordan. Welcome.